Welcome to Better Business Podcast. My name is Alexei, and today I want to talk about outsourcing. This is one of the topics that I do get asked about a fair bit because one of the things that I focus on is freeing up time. You know, when you're a busy business owner, oftentimes you just get into the habit of doing everything purely because you don't have the resources or you can't, find the right people. And I think the whole outsourcing side of thing really solves quite a few problems. Overall, many business owners do get caught up in a lot of different tasks, and I think finding people that are capable and skilled to do certain things is really one of the quickest answers. It's obviously a bit of a change for people to let go and trust some people, and that's a completely separate topic. But let's talk about outsourcing as a concept. And my business here is Yep Solutions, the digital marketing agency, uses quite a few people across a number of different areas, and I'll talk about this in a minute as well. So, first of all, why would you want to outsource? Well, the common reasons are obviously, freeing up your time, obviously, as I mentioned, being cost effective. A lot of the tasks, if you do the maths as to how much time you spend on them and getting somebody else to do the work, it really does make sense to get rid of things. And this could be very simple things like bookkeeping, for example. It's really just about making sure that you can get your time invested somewhere to make a better, a bigger change in the business. Getting expertise as well. It can take a while for you to find people, but if you go to one of the platforms, it's much easier to find people that do specialize in various areas and just engage them in quite a simple process. Overall, what you're really looking to achieve is you really would want to focus on the key focus or your core business, if you like, because I think a lot of business owners, especially the ones that sort of transition from having a job, really do get stuck in their business in just about every area and work crazy hours as a result. And it's not really a business. It's more like, you create yourself a job, but at the same time, you got to do a lot of different things. And the reality is, if you do this for long enough, you'll get pretty tired or burnt out. And I strongly recommend them to looking into some outsource, contractors to help you with quite a number of things. The other thing is scalability. If you got a team and you're struggling to find people, and over COVID, obviously that came up as one of the bigger issues, having resources and having the right people. Outsourcing really solved that problem quite well. And if your business is growing, and if it's a digital business or something that could be executed remotely, and look, as we learned through COVID, a lot of businesses could work remotely. Outsourcing is a great way. Now, on the negative side, obviously, you may have some communication issues, and this is something that really needs to be addressed first up. And you want to make sure that you don't lose control to the processes that you're handling, and make sure that everything is under control. So before engaging anyone or outsourcing, please make sure that you think through the actual logistics of the process, having phone numbers, having the right communication, having the right time zones and everything else. Now, when it comes to engaging outsource contractors, I prefer to work with Philippines. Now, I'm based in Brisbane, and if you look at the time difference, we are probably an hour to 3 hour difference in terms of time. That's probably as close as it gets in terms of a region that's well located to work with contractors. And I find that the guys in the Philippines, most of the time, they speak great English. They've got good education system. They overall culturally very compatible. And what I mean by that is they actually know how to work with the different economies, the guys in the US, the guys in Australia, the guys in the UK. And if you do speak to them, typically they've got a fair bit of experience. You may actually learn something from them in your area as well. The other cool thing about Philippines is that their government actually helps them when it comes to working as a freelancer, if you like. The government encourages this, and it's actually quite a big economy there. And I guess if you find the right people, you'll be able to even extend your work hours if that is one of the problems you're trying to resolve. Because if you engage various people at various times of the day, you may be able to cover more than just the 8 or 9 hour window, depending on where you are. So what sort of tasks will you normally outsource to people like in the Philippines, for example? I'm finding that you basically would be looking at things like, let's say, phone call handling. Like if you get a lot of phone calls and you're busy, you miss calls, you may want to invest into a virtual assistant who can take care of your calls. You can set up local phone numbers and reroute to them. And all you really got to do is make sure you train them about what you do, what your business is all about, and give them the right access and training in order to be able to provide sound customer service. Now, like I said, the English is typically pretty good. And if you do your selection, that's obviously one of the main things that would come up. I also find that, when it does come to training, using tools like Loom, for example, is a great way to create a video library. Now, Loom is a screen recording software that you can set up on your desktop as a browser extension. And then from there, you can actually record what you're showing on the screen. And there's a free account. I think you are limited to 5-minute videos, which allows you to create a bit of a library. If you do a paid account, I think you get up to half an hour unlimited. I can't quite remember, but the moral is you can actually create the instructions and pass it on to them. Now, there's obviously a number of platforms that you could choose to find outsourced contractors. There's obviously Upwork, freelancer.com, Fiverr. I prefer to work with Upwork. It's a system that used to be called Odesk in the past. I've used them for quite some time. And what I like about it is once you post a job, you can actually invite people based on the selection criteria. So let's say the region or the skills. And then when people apply, you can also look at each profile by the number of hours they worked, by their rating, by their skills, and a few other things as well. Upwork has got its own badging and stuff like that in relation to various skills that people may possess. If it's a type of job that is quite transactional, so let's say someone's been doing web development or SEO or something like that, I'm looking for at least 1,000 hours that people have done in that space and how much money they've actually made in that period. It's all quite transparent. You could look into the reviews as well and actually read what people actually get to say and make up your mind whether they're the right candidate from there as well. When you also posting your job, make sure you ask for examples or try to engage them in a bit of a conversation, because there are quite a few people that actually go and apply for everything. You want to make sure that their response actually comes as a reply to your post. So if having a question, that works really, really well. Looking at ratings is obviously, is important, but I do find that particularly the freelancers that have just started may have lower ratings because it's all new to them. And you do really need to spend the time to understand, the experience that the people that you're selecting may have, because while they may be doing, web development or something else, there's obviously many different approaches, platforms, and goals that they were focusing on in the past. So you need to make sure that you could specifically align them with the sort of task that you're having. And if you're completely new, maybe it's worthwhile to put together a dummy project and basically see how it goes, just to get to know the people as well. But make sure you align your expectations and make sure you set boundaries as to how much you're going to spend as well. Now, with the tasks that you normally outsource, some things that really fall behind are things like social media management, like let's say replying to people messaging your profile or LinkedIn or something like that. You may have a few profiles set up for your business, and it's typically 80-20, right? You focus on what's most popular, the 80%, and then 20% often gets left behind. This is what I would get a VA to look after. In fact, for our business, we've got VAs looking after taking the calls for an online store, that we look after the social media, the emails, and this way they're able to take care of the entire thing from a customer service perspective. It's not really something I would be able to afford if I was doing it at a proper rate. So outsource really comes in quite well. When it comes to design and development, I do find that working with some individuals works out quite well. But this is probably the area I would like to engage companies. So on Upwork, you've got individuals and you've got companies. So if you engage a company, they may have multiple individuals. And typically, you have a person who is in charge of the projects and can align you with the right person. So while I would get individuals to work on my projects, more from a cost efficiency perspective, when it comes to specific tasks, I would want a team involved. That's my approach. VAs, like I said, over COVID, we helped quite a few businesses get a VA, and we actually called them the phone manager because that's what we're mainly doing. We work with a lot of trades at Eurasian Solutions, and we found that a lot of customers were just missing phone calls. Like, let's say, if you get a roofer or some sort of a tradesperson being on the tools, by the time they check their phone, there'd be like, 10 phone calls missed. And if you call every single one of them, you may end up speaking to a telco and a marketing company and a debt collector or somebody else. And it's typically 50% of the calls that are actually really needed to be monitored. So what our phone managers started doing is they started booking appointments for our customers in the schedule. And really for that, our customers chose specific days, let's say Tuesdays and Thursdays, to go out and do the quoting. And we also had them trained so they would geographically assign those quotes in the same area. So this way, you'd be saving the business owner a lot of time to go out and do the quotes. I also find that, monotonous tasks, let's say like building lists or doing data entry and so on, just simply can't be done properly here in Australia. It's just, it takes too much time and becomes too expensive. And if you're after lists of prospects, it's much better to engage someone in the Philippines in order to do something like that. And, for our own online store and online stores for our customers, I do recommend everybody having a phone number that would be connected to one of those virtual assistants answering some basic product inquiries, because that really helps you drive sales. You'd be surprised if you have a phone number on a website, you'll be able to get a lot more sales coming through purely because someone gets a chance to speak to a real person. So overall, guys, I want to make sure that you understand that, if you are working, 50, 60 hours a week, and you do find there's quite a few monotonous tasks that could be optimized, and you're looking for ways to free up time, outsourcing is definitely one of the ways I would approach that. That's not to say that you can't find someone here in Australia. There's plenty of people who work, in that space, and you can find people that are working regionally, or there could be mums that are basically just taking their kids to school or childcare, and between 9 and 3 they could be available to do other tasks as well. It's really a matter of just really understanding that you can let go of certain tasks and maximize the work that you actually focus on that brings you the dollars. So I think outsourcing is a great concept. I started playing with it back in 2005. There was a website that used to be called rentacoder.com. It was really more focused at programming and stuff, but there were quite a few writers as well. And writing was one of the things that really helped us create quite a few digital products back in the day. So we could actually get people to write ebooks on various topics, do the research and so on. Obviously now it's quite a simple process using something like ChatGPT. But overall, if you are looking for creativity, if you are looking for someone who can write in a certain way, places like Upwork are really quite good for that. Fiverr, I guess, is still worth a shot. You may find quite a few interesting people there, and it's quite transparent. You don't need to register to see a lot of the people in there. I find Upwork is a little bit more filtered, but overall, if you're looking for outsource people, check out those platforms, and I'm sure you'll be able to find somebody. Overall, guys, we are helping our customers free up time, work towards their goals, optimize their business, and really grow their revenue through working smarter as opposed to harder. So if that's something you're interested in, drop us a line. And if you enjoy our podcast, please subscribe and tell your friends about it. I'm always looking for topics to present on, and I'm always looking for speakers to invite. So if you got anybody, comment below, or maybe just share this with them, and I'd be keen to have a chat to them. Anyway, my name is Alexei. This is Better Business Podcast. I'll speak to you soon.